Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Congratulations. Can you tell me a little bit about how you found out, where you found out, and what your reaction was? It was a wild couple of minutes.
Well, we tracked the game, obviously, throughout the 90 minutes. It's now, I guess, allowed. It wasn't a couple of years ago, but it is now. And so we know the score, and you know what's going on, so we'll try to communicate that as best as we can with the players. And after the game as well, because their game went on a little longer than ours. And so at some point, after I think the penalty and the tying goal, I think me, like many others, I actually turned the game off. I thought it was kind of done and dusted. So then all of a sudden, you start to hear a strange noise in the stands in the stadium, and then you start to believe, and then you turn your phone on, you take a look, and you see some happy faces and some disappointed faces. And when the final whistle blew, it's great. It's maybe a fitting evening to the game we saw, a fitting ending to the game we saw tonight. Very emotional. We love that. That's why fans come, and very happy we were able to give them another memorable night.
As decisions day go, how does this one kind of stack up in your experiences in time?
Yeah, well, I've only had 3, so.
Career, you play a lot of soccer.
Yeah, yes. To be honest, this was pretty cool, but playing against relegation in Europe is something completely different, and I do not recommend it. It is mind-boggling. It is. It's people's jobs are on the lines, literally, and clubs can be ruined by relegation. So that's a different feeling, and we have had that feeling on the last day of the season. Had stayed up, but the opponent went down. So those are incredible emotions as well. But this is right up there with it.
0 shots on target in the first half, and then 11 in the second half, which is a season high. What changed? What was the difference for you guys, and what did you think really sort of triggered all of that?
I think just the sense of urgency, really, and a little more direct play. The clips we did show them at half, and the words we had for them at halftime were exactly that. To play a little more direct, take a little more risk, play more in behind, try to get behind San Jose's back line a little more often, and good things will happen. And that's precisely what happened. We did know as soon as you get one, they'll fall into a deeper block, and then windows open and chances will come. I couldn't be happy with the second half, but was really disappointed with the first half performance. And we let the guys know that at half, of course.
Steve, how fully integrated is Olivier Giroud? We see sometimes he wants crosses, and they never come. And what was the intention with Carlos Vela playing tonight? We started warming up, but at the end he chose Marlon at the end to score the goal.
If Carlos is on the bench, it's always my intention to get him on the field. Carlos is Carlos Vela. I don't need to describe his game or his talents or his role at LAFC. He's worked extremely hard in training, and he deserves to be on the bench. Our center back had an injury, Aaron Long, and so I can't put on a forward in the back line. So that was unfortunate, but that's this game. It's really hard to plan subs prior to a match. You have ideas, but for as long as I've been doing this, they very, very rarely actually work out to how you plan. So you always have to adapt, and we had to adapt with Marlon. And a great play from Marlon. I thought his energy as well with the ball was fantastic and enabled us to keep putting pressure on San Jose.
Hey, Steve. Since we resumed after Leagues Cup, Galaxy have been in first. You guys have been right behind them. It's been close the entire way. In terms of that race, as you're coming down to what we get tonight, what did you see? What are your biggest feelings about this span that we've gone through?
Yeah, we always focused on the next game and doing our jobs. Our jobs is to win games and to continue to collect points and to be there if other teams slip up. And that's what happened. And when you do stay close to teams and don't let teams run away with it, then pressure mounts. We know because we've been in first for a very long time. And that's really hard to defend for long stints of time. And so when pressure mounts, then you have to kind of deal with that. And tonight we were able to, and the Galaxy, from their perspective, not. Unfortunately, not.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Congratulations. 2 questions. I know you've mentioned in the past that you don't like to manage during games. You like to give the team, the players, their independence because you've done what you've had to do beforehand, training them. Did you find yourself in a different position today, managing it any other way, like a little bit more of a, hand in that turnaround that they had in the second half? Was there an inspirational halftime speech that you can share with us? Anything?
Yeah, there were some words at half for sure. Inspirational, probably not. Emotional, very much so. And I think the sense of urgency always has to start with the players. But yeah, I think sometimes maybe holding the mirror up in front of players' faces helps, and that's kind of what we try to do. During the game, I'm not sure, even if coaches are vocal and antic, others have certain habits on the sideline or up and down the sideline, I'm not really sure players actually pay attention to that and actually get wind of it. In my own career, I don't recall a single word from a coach during 500 plus games. So it's not an excuse of why maybe I'm not always active on the sideline, but I'm just not sure it does anything. I think before the game, at halftime, and during the week, you have a lot of opportunities to affect what goes on in the field. And that's where I channel most of my energy.
Okay. Last question for me. Can you talk a little bit about Atuesta? Because from the beginning of this season, he's injected creativity and intelligence and maturity on the pitch. How do you feel he's grown through this season?
Yeah, Edward is a footballer. Technically, one of our most gifted players. Can come up with moments like tonight. Is strong in possession, but also takes a lot of risks. And sometimes that hurts you. Sometimes that helps you. And that's his game. And we try to, use that in moments where LAFC profits from. And that's the challenge of the coaching staff and Edward. But yes, he has grown and he's matured, and he's dealt with not playing a whole lot over the past couple of weeks extremely well. And only if you're in a good mental space can you come on the field like you did tonight and change the game.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, right here. How important is the crowd? From the beginning, when the LAFC first came in to LA, the crowd has just been tremendous. Talk about the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd is like nothing else that I've seen live in LA. I think it's pure passion. It's electrifying, and it really has the ability to make our players better. And in choice moments, we recall the MLS Cup final or tonight. Those are the moments that I think people really, really remember in this stadium. And I get texts all the time from people. Hey, I was there that night, and this happened, and this happened, this happened. They want to tell you what happened in those moments when goals score and when you get news or when you win a trophy. And that's what we're doing. We were trying to make memories, and the fans are an integral part of that here at BMO. And for us, and able to make another long run in the playoffs or a deep run in the playoffs, we need them. It's just that. In a salary cap league where every team has the same tools, you need your fans, you need a home stadium environment that gives you the upper hand.
Coach, congratulations on the win. 2 quick kind of related things. When Aaron came off, he gave the armband to Edward Atuesta. Do you feel that Edward plays a little bit differently with that armband on, maybe a little bit more leadership, maybe he takes more charge? And secondly, is there an update on Aaron Long?
No update on Aaron. Whether or not Edward plays differently, for me, I don't see any difference. I think that's a great question for him. I'm not sure that it does make a whole lot of difference, but I guess it's a question for Edward. Through my own personal experiences, I don't think I played or felt any difference. I think when you do wear it, you have a little more responsibility as far as what others do on the field and with the referee, and we'll see that next year and a couple of new rules that will be added, possibly. But I'm not sure it changes much in a second half when a player comes on or a player goes off, because you're already in rhythm, and the game has sort of taken on its own dynamic already.